So write down D M T. D M T. Right? So those who have names starting with the letter D, those who have names starting with the letter M, those who have names starting with the letter T. So right below that, number 4, which means these names would be dominated by number 4. Next, these names would be dominated by Rahu Bhagwan, by Rahu Bhagwan. Remember one important thing here. When you keep a name, when you give a name, when you assign a name, the character connected with that letter would directly start playing its part. Not even indirectly, directly it would start influencing you. This is the main concept that we are discussing, right? So here, I'm going to be giving you all the predictions based on that. One, what would happen to them or what would be their gunas? The moment you give a name, or for that matter, the moment you actually go about and get a person and you know that this is his name and his name is starting with this letter. As of now, we are discussing DMT. Immediately, you should be able to come up with predictions which actually go and convey about the guna of the person, predictions which also go about and convey what? Something to do with his or her family. Can we predict? Of course, you can predict. But if you go and predict, the scope here is not to get into the prediction completely here, though we would be doing that. But still, the scope here is if I'm giving a name to a person and this is going to be the starting letter, this is what I can expect in this person. This is what will be there inevitably in his or her family. That's it, full stop. So I would be giving you the predictions, but as I told you, you also need to do your independent study, which means whatever things that you have in mind based on the graha, based on what I'm conveying to you, if you can add something also, leave a few pages between each and everything that I tell you and keep adding, right? So D, names like Damodaran. M, names like Marimuttu, Muttu, Madan, right? Madi, Meenakshi. Right? So you will find names, you will find a lot of names, a certain amount of names starting with the letter D, many names starting with the letter M. Again, many names also starting with the letter T. T as in Tyagu, T as in Thomas, T as in Tyagarajan, right? So you will find a lot of names starting with T. So here, what I need to convey to you at this point here is, as I'm giving you the predictions now, as I'm giving you the gunas associated with this name, with this letter, obviously, immediately in your mind, as I'm giving you the predictions, in your mind, you should bring out people. They could be people in your family, they could be your friends, they could be your close relatives. And immediately you can put your imagination into play and start connecting each and every prediction that I'm telling. And you would be surprised as to how each and everything is coming at a precise level, right? Write down point number 1. They would be living apart or would have lived apart from their father and mother. Father or mother, you can write. They would have lived apart from their father and mother or mother in a young age. So one category of people would say, I grew up in my grandfather's house. I grew up in my grandmother's house. Or another category would be there. They would tell that, you know what? I lost my mother in a young age. I lost my father in a young age. Another category of people would be there. They would say that, you know what? I studied in a hostel. I studied in a boarding school. Another person would say, post my birth, this person expired in my family. So there is something to do with, you know what, being apart from a family member, especially during the young age. Number two, will have escaped or would have escaped a danger, in bracket, put as Gandam or Ganda, in a young age. See, remember, you should also understand the basis of how the predictions are being framed, because I've told you that earlier, but now also I'm repeating to you, because only when you understand the basis of the prediction, you would be able to come up with your own set of predictions, guna, nature of the letter. The idea is what? Rahu, a Sarpagraha. What does the Rahu as a Sarpagraha indicate? What are the traits? What are the attributes? What are the Karakatwas of Rahu? Where does the nakshatra of Rahu start? In which Rashi do we have the nakshatras of Rahu? This is the basis here, right? When it comes to the other grahas, obviously the other grahas have their own houses, right? When it comes to the other grahas, they have their own houses. Also, they have the houses where they get into an exalted position. They have their Mula Trikona houses. So based on all of that, we actually come into a clear-cut prediction, clear-cut guna, clear-cut trait, which is very, very different from what is followed from a very, very conventional standpoint. Because what we are doing here, we are making it a point that we are linking Jyotisha completely with numerology. Why? Because one does not go without the other. Number two, in a young age, would have escaped a danger or a ganda. Number three, family where there are love marriages. Number four, they will develop a bad habit and they would leave a bad habit. So they will develop one bad habit, and what they would do is they would leave that bad habit somewhere in between. It could be drinking, smoking, right? So first they will develop some bad habit earlier on in their age. And then what would happen? They would leave, or there would be a change into the habit or considering the habit. Number five, will have respiratory problem. Number six, will have skin related disease. For whom all those people who have names. So once we come to the end, you all should share. The idea of sharing is not to actually go and praise me. No, I'm not doing anything here. I did not invent the Karakatwas. We are just linking the Karakatwas here. The moment you share, you get a clarity that yes, indeed, everything is working out the way I'm telling. And most importantly, you would be encouraged to adhere to it, and others would also be encouraged to predict, right? That's the whole point. So, number five will have respiratory problem. Number six will have skin related ailment or disease, which is in bracket you put as itching. Number seven will have gas related problem, gas. Number eight will have intestinal ailment, or disease. Number 10 will learn a foreign language. Learn a foreign language. You would find many people who have the starting letter with D, M, T in their names. They would be running studios. Studio means photo studio, scan center. You will find a lot of people with these names. Muttu scans, Muttu studio, like that you will find many of them. Number 12 will have knowledge about medicine. Remember, Rahu also indicates chemicals. Number 13. Will desire to live near a river or in a hilly or mountainous region. One, if you ask them, what is your desire? They would say, I want to live somewhere near the hill, near the mountain, or in the mountains, or in the hills, or somewhere near the river I should live. This would what their desire would be. Number 14. Will be fond of trekking in the forest area, mountainous area. They will be fond of trekking in these regions. Number 20. There will be people who are astrologers, who are into divination, who practice mandriga, who perform puja. Puja means pujari, priests in the family. So either in the father's side or the mother's side, or they themselves, what would happen? Either there would be an astrologer, there would be somebody who's into divination, right? Somebody who's into mandrigam, mandriga shastra, somebody who's a pujari, right? All of this will be there in the family. It cannot go. It can also be there for the native, which means he himself can be an astrologer. He himself can actually be into something to do with divination. He himself can be into something to do with performing pujas. Right? So all this will be there in the family. What is it? Astrology, divination in some form or the other, mandriga, or something to do with share market. Right? Wherever there is speculation, there will be Rahu. All of this will be there. Right? Number 21. Number 21. Either in the father's side or in the mother's side, there would be Durmarna. What is Durmarna? Unnatural death, untimely death, violent death. Right? All of that will be there either in the father's side or mother's side. Many people with this letter, point number 22, are running covering shops, gold covering, silver covering, right? Fancy stores. You will find many people who run fancy stores, right? Who have these letters. Number 22. They will have a miscarriage. They will have a miscarriage. Means will lose a child. The fetus will be formed, the fetus would just develop, and they would lose a child. Number 23. A few of them are in government departments. Number 24. Will have a night job or do night shift. They will be awake in the night. Or here it is a day, somewhere else it will be a night. They will be working for such companies. Number 25. Will have or get a leadership post in a movement. In bracket, you put as association, sangha, samudaya, community, or temple. Somewhere, either in some association, some committee, some community, some temple, they will have some form of a leadership post. Number 26. One of their friend will be a religious convert. Who all those who have DMT, they will have one friend who will be close to them who's a religious convert, which means he would have converted from this religion to that religion or would be practicing this religion to that religion, right? That is all for DMT. So the moment you see a name starting with DMT, all these gunas have to be present in this person, right? The first or the most important crux that you need to take from DMT is fame, luck, goodness. All of that will only come to them in a foreign land, in a foreign place, in a distant land. Again, their thinking will always be grand, will be grandiose, not like small thinking. Big level thinking is what they will do. Again, confirmed in a young age, they will have some form of a surgery, some form of a danger, and they would just escape that narrowly. Right? So, as you keep predicting, see, one is listening to me and writing it down. It may just look like, words or letters, but only when you open your mouth and predict, or for that matter, once you start connecting with your family members, like you should be doing now, as you're writing, you will see how miraculously point blank all these predictions are, or bang on all these predictions are. So, point number 27, we wrote, but still you can repeat. Learning foreign language or going to a foreign place, getting help from people who are foreigners, foreign to their culture, all of that will be amazing for them. Right? Again, the departments, the professions that I told. But most importantly, what you need to do is alternatively, this is the department, this is the profession that a person would get into. So you can also go about and think about that while you plan names. Right? Or the moment they have a name itself, these are the professions which will come to them. Number 28. They will do any action, we can write it this way. Any action that they undertake, they will do it twice. Only when they do it the next time, that will come into a fruition. So whatever they do, what they will do it 2 times. They will repeat it. Why? Because Rahu is reverse, Vakra. Only when they do it the second time, it will work out for them. Right? Number 29. Will come down, will fall down once. And after that, they will come up. After that, they will come up. So they will go down, they will fall down, right? They will reach one rock bottom phase in their life. After that, they will rise up like a phoenix. Number 30. Most of the professions or any profession which requires movement, continuously moving around, that will be very good for them. Sedentary jobs, sitting on the chair, all of that won't be good for them. Continuously, they should be moving somewhere. So if you can get them a job like that, or if they get into a job like that, all of that will be good, right? Otherwise, something to do with just sitting in one place, that won't be good, right? There will be one person in the medical field in the family. Either they would have some knowledge about medicine, would be in the medical field, and definitely there would be somebody in the family who is in the medical field. Right? See, whenever you get a name starting with DMT, the first thing that you should tell is, was there a miscarriage, an abortion, a loss of a child in the family? 100 out of 100, they will say, yes, that is how it would be. If the person is saying no, then you tell, go check and come. That is the way it should do, which means you cannot take back the rules. A rule has to be a rule that cannot change at all. Right? Next, you can write EHNX.